I'm currently solo traveling, backpacking in Peru, and I want to jump on and talk about some costs. How much is it costing me to travel through Peru? Is it what I thought it was going to be? How much are hostels or Airbnbs? How much is food? How much is transport? I want to make it quick, not say a whole lot. So right now I'm in the city of Arequipa in Peru, which is sort of inland a little bit, more in the middle to the south of the country, down on my way towards Bolivia. Beautiful. Spanish colonial center, Plaza de Armas. You know, all these cities have this kind of central square area. Lots of people sitting around, just taking in the day. The weather is, for me, perfect. At night it cools down here to 8, 9, 10 degrees. And then during the day is going to get up somewhat upwards of 20 degrees Celsius, that is. If you still use Fahrenheit, well, you can figure that out on your own. All right, ducking into this little supermarket, which is right next to the plaza. What are some costs? All right. Got coffee. So 15 soles, Peruvian soles. I divide that, it's very noisy. I divide that almost in half. It's a little less than half, but I just keep it easy. So that bag of coffee would be $7, maybe a little less than $7. Things in a supermarket are going to be somewhat more expensive than if you just go to a large market. And I'll try and get there in a few minutes. But you can see there's all kinds of stuff here. So is that per kilo? 7.60, does that say? Soles, you know, so $3 for apples. Yogurt, $8 for, is that 500 grams? Is that, yeah, so $8, a little less than $8. It's a lot. So these imported things, I don't think they're imported necessarily, but yeah, they're packaged goods. So that's going to cost more money. All this stuff is going to be almost comparable or more than it would be at home. Oh, home is Canada, by the way. I eat a metric ton of tuna at home because you can get it on sale for a reasonable price. And here it's all over the place. You know, you get some tins that, you know, 3.50 soles. Yeah, so, you know, $1.50 Canadian. That's not bad, actually. But then you've got some that's much more expensive. A lot of people like to cook some pasta. Pretty reasonable. You know, $1. You know, that's, again, Canadian, so that would be less than USD or Euro or British pounds, much less. Overall, of course, it's much less than it is at home to try and live here and buy food. Need some toothpaste. Again, prices are quite all over the place, but yeah, 11 soles for a tube of toothpaste, $6. Good grief. It's a lot. All right, supermarket prices. The best thing to do is to, like I said, go to a local market. You're going to get a wider variety of things there for much better prices. There are all kinds of places to go in, sit down, have a big plate of food. 14 soles, $7, right, for a really good meal. One of the keys to sort of trying to live frugally on a budget when you're traveling is to live like a local. Eat where the locals eat, shop where the locals shop. And that's the way you're gonna save the most money, make your dollar go further. There are all these little shops everywhere, anything you could need for a lot less than you're gonna find it in a supermarket. Got places to sit and eat. This is where the locals would come, right? Because it's cheap as hell. You know, you're gonna eat here for a couple dollars. You know? Yeah, textiles, good grief. Trying to find the fruit and vegetables. All right, here we go. Fruits, vegetables for better prices than the supermarket. I came here early this morning, got a little tiny container of blueberries and 5 bananas, and it cost me $2 Canadian. I'm scared to think what that would cost at home. Yeah, at least what, $6 or $7. Main reasons I like to come here is for the meat. If you're not a meat eater, I apologize, but I eat meat and I want my ground beef, and I got a kilo yesterday for 19 soles, $9, maybe $8, I don't even know, for a kilo. Yeah, and it's fresh, butchered today, yesterday. Can't beat it. There's pork, there's chicken, there's fish. You know, so again, live like a local. This is where the locals are coming to shop. So you can live very inexpensively. This is just a couple blocks away from the main tourist area, the plaza. And again, look, just shops everywhere. It seems chaotic, but I love it. It's a little more authentic. There's an election, a general election on the weekend. So things are going to be shut down. You are not allowed to buy alcohol anywhere for the next few days. I think starting tomorrow. And here comes a promotional vehicle for one of the candidates for El Presidente. All right, before I talk about accommodations, one of the big things for me is a gym. Not getting any younger, I like to go to the gym, try and maintain some level of fitness, and yeah, they're pretty cheap. The first one I started going to a few days ago, just a few minutes away from my place, and for a week was 25 soles, $12 less than. The problem is, it was so packed. You could not move. First of all, they've got too much stuff, too much equipment. It's a pretty good space, but holy hell, they've got 50% too much gear. And then on top of that, it was just slammed with people. I went a couple different times. It didn't matter. You could not move. I gave up. So I ate that cost. Wow. So I'm out a whole $10. And then there's another one here in the center that is just so much better, but they don't do week passes. Got to get a day pass for 10 soles for a day pass, or you could get a month, and it was 99. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to kick around here for a month yet. I kind of want to, but I just haven't made up my mind. All right, accommodations. I typically will stay in hostels because I'm not staying in a place overly very long. And hostels are, you're going to get a hostel, a really nice hostel, from anywhere from $6, $7, $8 and up. You could spend, and that's a dorm room, which I don't mind. Yeah, I'm not getting any younger, like I said. So that does get, I don't mind it because I like the opportunity to meet other travelers and have some conversations. If you get your own place, and I've done that, and it has its time and it has its place, to get a private room or an Airbnb just for some privacy, and they're still very affordable. Airbnbs here in town, you get a huge discount if you want to stay a month. You know, $30, $40, $50, $60 a night and up, of course. Or if you wanted to stay a month, you're going to cut that cost in half. So instead of paying $1,200 or $1,300 in a daily rate, if you just added it up over, if you multiplied the daily rate, they give you it's in half. You could get an Airbnb for a month for $600, $700, $800 Canadian. So $500 USD for an Airbnb. And some of the hostels, a lot of the hostels include a little breakfast. It ain't much, but you know, it's something. So, transportation. How am I getting around? For the first time ever, oh, this video is taking way too long. I did something really different. I usually just bum around, wander around. I don't do a whole lot as far as, you know, official tours and going to see things. And then I just make my way to my next destination, typically with some kind of bus. And if you wanted to go from Lima, the capital city, down south to the next place that I stopped in, which was Paracas, just a tiny little beach town. A local bus, did I even look it up? I don't know if it would have even cost $20, 25 bucks maybe? I can't even imagine. But this time I signed on for a full-on bus tour company for tourists. But it's a hop-on, hop-off service. I paid a ticket for my whole trip that takes me all the way into Bolivia. And I get to stop in places for as long as I want. I want to stay here a month, I can stay here a month. And then I just go online, and if I want to leave, I just book my next bus, and there are buses leaving every day. It's pretty cool. And they do tours. So it's forcing me to do things that I normally wouldn't do. You can fly. Inter-country travel flights are cheap. You could fly from Lima to Arequipa one way for certainly less than $100. But then you've got to go to an airport. You've got to get an Uber or a taxi. But still, and then the flight is only an hour as opposed to sitting on a bus for 10, 11, 12 hours, depending on the trip. So you've got to weigh the pros and cons of both things. I don't sleep no matter what I do, so it doesn't matter. So when I go to Cusco, I haven't decided yet. I think I'm going to take the bus. It's 12 hours. I could fly, and it's an hour. But I kind of want to see the country. And you're on a bus with other travelers, having conversations, maybe meeting some people. You get to hang out. And I don't do that enough. So Peru is a great country. You can live here very cheaply. 40 to 50% of what you're going to be spending in your home country. That's my rough estimate. Okay, so I always try, in my head, I want to make these videos kind of short, and they end up, I'm so long-winded. I apologize for that. Peru is a great country. I feel safe. I'm not out late doing anything silly or foolish. I don't drink alcohol. So, yeah. But, you know, in Lima, of course, in certain areas, you're told to not really be hanging around a whole lot. But when I was there, you're in a couple of the main tourist neighborhoods, and it was great. No problems. Felt wonderful. So much more a person could dive into. But I just wanted to try and give you at least a little bit of an overview of the cost of living here so far. I'm only 3 weeks in. I think it's been 3 weeks. I don't even know. And I'm trying to stay on the road for, I don't even know. I'm making it up as I go. 8 months, 10 months, a year. We'll see. I'm going to Bolivia. Might go to Argentina, which I know is going to be hella pricey. Wasn't even on my radar to go there, but I've been talking to some other travelers, and they say it's actually manageable. Transport's expensive there, but anyway. Sorry, this is Peru, not Argentina. Yet. All right, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about anything, ask me. I'll try and answer them as best as I can. See you on the next one.